deep digging into Shaq's history. Because even when I was talking to Gilly, Gilly was like, yo, Ak, I'm going to be honest with you. Shaq tapped in with the streets. I'm like, bro, we're talking about
crazy.
Superman and who like fucking is the big goofball at the NBA All-Star games, like dribbling like crazy, and we laugh at him and we love him. And they're like, no, he's tapped in. And I'm like, what? But I went into all his history. Shaq think he a street nigga. This is a fact. Shaq think he's a street. And there's multiple cases. He hasn't, well, actually, he did hit up a chick I was talking to like a few weeks ago, which I'm going to say, Shaq, I'm going to keep it cute with you from here on. If you want me to go do a whole deep dive on your history, nigga, you don't want to end up like Shannon Sharp. I'm going to just say that right now. Because as much money as you think you got, I got a lot of motherfucking time.
Why Shaquille O'Neal hates Akademiks. That's DJ Akademiks. Video coming to us by Hello Yasin Extras. Let's dive in.
What's poppin', yo? One of the most bizarre beefs has to be Shaquille O'Neal versus Akademiks. Now, Akademiks is no stranger to beef. He's welcomed beef, especially with other rappers and even other celebrities. But Shaquille O'Neal is one of the last people you would think would have issues with Akademiks. And one of the only people Akademiks has continuously attempted to try to squash the beef with, and it hasn't fared too well for him. The way this beef initially started, it was in 2024. And if you guys remember, there was a girl that went viral on social media, starting off on Twitter.
I remember this chick.
Because she was working at Home Depot. Yes, it's correct. It's that simple. She worked at Home Depot. She took a selfie with the Home Depot apron, and people thought she was attractive, and they spread it, and it went everywhere like wildfire. And Shaq was one of the people that DM'd her. And in the DM exchange, he says, don't let them people bother you. And then she says, thank you, Shaq. And yeah, he says, don't read the comments. Stuff like that will drive you crazy. Have a great day. Tell all your boyfriends I said hello. LOL. And we're looking at it, yo, Shaq is DMing this girl, but Akademiks posts it on his page and talks about it on stream, and this is where everything starts.
Shaq, you fucking sneaky bastard, man. This is the type of Shaq was doing when he was trying to get Kobe to cheat on his wife, too.
Damn.
Remember Kobe got caught, and Kobe said, yo, Kobe was cheating on Vanessa, and Kobe was like, yo, listen, I only did what Shaq told me. Shaq is doing the old school macking, bruh. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, listen. Anybody with two eyes and half a brain could tell. When you over here and you trying to shoot a passive shot, which means even if you screenshot me, I could act like I'm not shooting a shot at you.
Right.
You're going to say some shit like this.
So this is Akademiks doing his general commentary, and this is actually in 2023. Let me correct that, not 2024. This is a beef going on for 2 years.
Wow.
And Shaq hasn't let it go yet. It's like the memory of an elephant or the grudge of an elephant or Ravens. You guys should look into some Ravens stories that people have had where they've gotten on their bad side. It's quite horrific. And this is, it's no big deal, right?
Yeah, ravens are the smartest birds.
It's like general commentary.
It's like a toss-up between ravens and parrots, but I think it goes to ravens.
But I think this next clip in the same video is where things get to a point where Shaq was probably like, oh, this guy think he playing with me. He think I'm the one to play with. So I'm going to run you guys that right now.
Here's the funny thing. This is the funniest thing about this. Everybody with a brain knows what Shaq was doing.
Oh, for sure.
We just seen Shaq with Brittany Renner, bro. Now, Shaq's like 51 or something like that. But, you know, Shaq doing his thing. And I know Shaq because Shaq, there's a few things in this industry that are notorious DM scuba divers. Shaq, Tiger, Sway Lee, Slim Thug. Like, there's a bunch of them. Like, if you're not talking to a bad bitch unless they're in that same girl's DMs.
Damn.
Trust me. Promise. Anyway, I say that to say because after I posted it, Shaq responded. This is what Shaq said. Shaq said, before I read this, I'll read the second one. He says, just uplifting people. That's what the Diesel do, baby. I uplift people. Google me. Then Shaq says, trying to get your followers up, huh, Akademiks? I hope you get to 10 million. Now, Shaq, I don't know if people told you, but this ain't TNT. Now, let me tell you this. Shaq done DM 2 of my bitches already. So that's all I was saying.
Oh,
listen, and I'm not mad at him because I love Shaq. We all love Shaq. But Shaq, we know your play. Shaq done DM two of my bitches with the same goofy type of talk. Yo, Shaq gonna DM my bitch, bro. I swear. Shaq DM my bitch and like I'm talking about my ex. Shaq DM my bitch and said this. Keep in mind, all she posted on the gram is ass pictures. This bitch in a bikini the whole Instagram page.
Yeah.
You know what Shaq gonna DM her and say? I could tell you radiate positive energy.
Oh, hell nah, bro.
Shaq, this bitch half naked. The fuck you talking about? She's radiating positive
energy. Yeah, that's like all them OnlyFans bitches, right? They radiating mad positive energy.
What is you talking about, Shaq? Yo, Shaq, the fuck is Shaq talking about, man?
Right.
Nigga, this shit was so crazy. She showed me the phone. She said, oh my, because I be playing 2K all day. I play with classic teams. I play with Shaq. She said, Shaq DM me. I said, shut the fuck up. Shaq ain't f***ing DM you. Hold on. Yo, pass me the ball. All right. Okay. No, she said, nah, for real. Shaq in her DM told me, you radiate positive. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you. She did answer that nigga because she thought this nigga was giving her like a free horoscope.
Bruh. Yeah, she thought Shaq was giving her a horoscope. No. Listen, if you're a chick and you're putting out thirst traps on the internet, you gotta know any dude that's sliding in your DMs for any reason at all, bro's trying to crack, bro. Bro trying to hit. Why else would he slide in your DMs? Just to see how your day's going? Nah, he trying to hit. Unless he has a very specific business opportunity for you. And even then, you got to be a little skeptical. You feel me? Because he could be just using that as a ploy to get close to you so that he could try to hit.
It was like 3 DMs later, Shaq was offering a flyer out. Swear. I promise you.
Wow.
I promise you. Now, again, I'm not mad at Shaq because, number one, I don't own no woman. And again, listen, it's up to the whatever woman to deal with whatever man.
So you got to think about this from Shaq's perspective. He's got this brand of Big Diesel, nice guy, just loving personality, big, like, lovable bear, right? And then here comes Akademiks, and he's throwing him in with Sway Lee, Tyga, all these other guys. He's like, yo, these guys DM every chick. So a lot of us are thinking, I mean, we're obviously expecting Shaq to be exploring, for lack of a better word.
Sure.
But we're not thinking about the depths to which he's doing that. So Akademiks now, he's like, I wouldn't say cracking the shell of Shaq, but this is a negative perception for Shaq to have developed around his name. And Akademiks is contributing to that. And I think perhaps that may be a reason why he felt a certain way about this. Not too sure entirely. But he did go in on Akademiks in his comments.
Yeah, you definitely don't look at Shaquille O'Neal and think thirsty old man that's just sliding into every young chick's DMs. That's not what you think when you... Of course, you think, if Shaquille O'Neal is a single man or even if he was a married man. I mean, he is an NBA player. Wouldn't be that surprising. Hall of Famer. Right? You think he would be sliding into some DMs. Probably women in their late 20s to early 30s. Baddies. Shit like that. Maybe even other celebrities. You don't think he's sliding into every little young 20-something-year-old DM that just pops up on your For You page.
Section 2, which he read out. And then what follows up is Shaq ends up doing a promotional ad that Akademiks covers, and this was for Home Depot after he DMs the chick. So I'm going to play you guys that clip right now. This was several days later.
Niggas like Shaq can't lose. This nigga turned him shooting a shot at a girl into him getting a fucking full-on... this is like... Yo, you ever try to film in one of these like stores? Go to Walmart and try to film. Stop filming! No filming! You have to leave! He shot a whole fucking music video in here. He got the apron on and everything. This is a Home Depot promo, nigga. This nigga turned him shooting a shot at a chick into him getting a check from the company the chick works at.
So here you have it. Shaq got an ad. He definitely got paid a huge bag for this. And when you listen to Akademiks talk about it, I'm not saying he's hating. He's just making jokes for the stream. But Shaq is probably like, oh, this guy thinks he's playing with me. He's trying to play with my bag. Things continue even more. And I think Akademiks wanted...
That's why Shaquille O'Neal is a billionaire, bro. Bro flipped shooting his shot into a bag. Insane.
To say it just because like Shaq DM'd his girl. I don't think at the point in time that Shaq DM'd his girl, he knew it was Akademiks' girl. But in the near future, he would know because that girl, Angelica, she was popular on social media. I don't know if it was Akademiks that made her popular or contributed to her popularity, but she was quite popular versus like, I guess, other girls in Akademiks' life that don't really have followers or are private. I'm not too sure. In 2024, we get some new updates from this. And this starts off with comments that Shaquille O'Neal made about Shannon Sharpe after Shannon Sharpe was doing this GOAT talk conversation, thinking it was just sports. Like, Shaq's not the greatest because of X, Y, and Z. Shaq responds with a lengthy message on Instagram. And we're not going to get too much into that, but he just says, yo, I just want...
you know Shaquille O'Neal is loving what Shannon Sharpe's going through right now, bro.
To be the number one big man, this, and that. And Shaq seemed quite upset with what was going on. But Akademiks is covering this, and then he starts talking about the level of threats and sharing new information that he had not previously shared. So now we're in 2024, about 11 months ago, and he shares the threats that Shaq made towards him.
And Shaq slid in my DMs, and he talked to me just like how he talked to Shannon Sharpe. He's like, yo, bro, why you even posting this? You broke, nigga? Like, to keep it real?
Damn.
I ain't even gonna lie to you. When Shaq asked you if you broke, you start thinking like, maybe I am fucking broke.
I mean, we are all broke compared to Shaquille O'Neal. 99.9% of the population is definitely broke compared to Shaquille O'Neal.
This thing's a billionaire. Like, Shaq's a whole fucking billionaire.
Right.
Shaq was so tight at me. And then the next thing he said, which was like, I had to, matter of fact, I didn't realize Shaq was like this until I started hearing some rumors and shit. But also, like, Gilly called me later. It was like, I guess Shaq was making little calls around about me. I don't know. It was kind of odd. Anyway, because Shaq was in my DM and Shaq was like, yo, you know you got to see me, right? You know, like, he was like mad tough. I was like, what the hell? The whole time I'm like, nigga, ain't you the guy on TNT? Like, it was.
Bro, Shaquille O'Neal out here threatening DJ Akademiks? Oh, you know you got to see me, right? Dang.
It was gangster Shaq in my DMs. Wow. I promise you. Like this is why I never said it, because I'm like, no one will believe this. Like, no one will believe that Shaq was in my DMs talking the most gangster shit. Like, he finna, like, put a hit on. Like, I swear. So, and I remember even telling him, like, I was like, Unc, cool down, bruh. I was like, bruh, if you talking like that, we don't even got to talk no more. Like, I'm like, don't they say real G's move in silence? Like, why are you, like, telling me what you're about to do to me? Like, this is crazy.
So in this clip, Akademiks is saying like, Shaq, after those DMs or after that response that he put out, Akademiks, he posted another girl that was in his comment section saying Shaq DM'd her. So he's escalated it even further. And then Shaq goes to DMing him talking about like actual real life threats, like on some gangster talk. So Akademiks was like, what the hell is going on with this guy? Clearly, if Shaq is willing to do this, he's got a problem with Akademiks. And then Akademiks talks about a recent ex that he had, which is different from the initial girl that we played in the previous clip where he said like her behind was out everywhere and she was really popular. So he shares that Shaq DM'd her as well. So I'm gonna play you guys that clip.
Tell me how Shaq's all in her DMs. Shaq's all in her DMs trying to link, fly her out. Shaq got on FaceTime with her. So she tell me what happened. She's like, Shaq FaceTime me. That nigga was in the dark with his shirt off. Like, she was like, that was kind of creepy.
That's
I was
crazy.
Like, what? I was like, no, you're lying. I was like, no, for real. Nigga, I wouldn't even really believe it. Like, set me on the proof. I ain't gonna put it up. It ain't that serious. But I was like, Shaq really be getting shit shaking, bro.
Wow.
So now I gotta worry about Shaq trying to. I think Shaq don't like me. Like, I'm not making it up. That's why I said, like, I didn't ever want to say this, because Shaq, like, the image of Shaq and what I'm saying do not align. You're going to be like, at your line until I show all proof. But I just don't want to, like, just throw everything up on the screen. Shaq was literally, because you know how I knew this happened? Shorty hits me up. She says, do you got something with Shaq? I said, I never even told her, really. I was like, no. I said, why? She was like, Shaq FaceTime me, and, like, he was like in the dark corner with like his shirt off, and like he was just trying, like he's been trying.
That's kind of wild to me, though. I would think once you get that big, once you get to like Shaq's level and even far beneath that, you don't want to look crazy on the FaceTiming some random person. You know what I'm saying? Something they can screenshot, something they can screen record and post on YouTube. This sounds like the kind of thing I would want to have floating around online if I was Shaquille O'Neal.
hit me up consistently trying to like link type shit. And I was just like, it's almost like he's doing it because he knows I was with you. And I was like, oh, Shaq's spinning the block on me. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's one like I realized I'm probably gonna lose.
Now this is quite diabolical. Like, man, that at this point that he was going after Akademiks' girl just to get to him or to embarrass him or to go for something. And usually at this point, Akademiks would attempt to escalate the beef, get into a shouting match, down a couple of shots at Henny, and really, really get to work. But with Shaq, he was not ready to do that. He decided, okay, I've met my match. This guy's bigger than me, richer than me, and overall more beloved than me, socially speaking. And people just won't believe that he's actually doing the stuff that I'm accusing him of. So he tries to cop some pleas in a joking manner, which I could see Shaq feeling like he was upping the ante. But he cops pleas later on in this clip.
I guess Shaq be a player on the low. He don't like people louding it up. Shaq, I will stop posting all the whores you're fucking. Just stop beefing with me because I look up to you as a legend. And I can't beef with a billionaire. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. Recently, I think Shaq he flexed on like TNT. They was talking about some exclusive restaurant, and they asked Shaq. They said, "Yo, you ever been there?" And Shaq just flexed. He said, "Been there, nigga. I own it." Like he just flexed. I'm like, "Yo, you can't defeat a nigga like that, bro."
Yeah.
God bless Shaq. God bless Shaq. So for the record, I don't have no beef with Shaq, but I don't think Shaq likes me. But I want to get on his good side. Okay. Shaq, one of my like old
bro, that's straight out of American Gangster. Frank Lucas, you remember that scene where Lucas goes up and he approaches the chick, Miss America or Miss Universe. She was from, I think, Puerto Rico or something like that. And she's like, "Oh man, this is a real nice place." And he's like, "Oh, you like it?" And she's like, "Yeah." It's like, "Yeah, I own it. It's mine." Bro, imagine pulling some shit like that on a bitch, bro. Oh my God. The draws got to come off immediately.
Old I will offer up to you as sacrifice to make us cool. Okay? Pick any girl I used to date or be with before 2017. And you could have them. Let's just be cool, Shaq. I want no smoke with you. Sometimes you got to offer a nigga up a bitch.
So at this point, Akademiks is probably thinking, okay, it's chill. We're all good to go. Because usually someone's like, okay, this guy's not being serious about it. I'll let it slide. Well, apparently Shaq doesn't let things slide because 5 months after that,
Shaq's a pretty petty person. That's what I'm getting.
Akademiks goes in again and shows what's been happening, an update with him and Shaq. So he goes on a couple of months later and shares a story from the Super Bowl when he was with Fresh from Fresh and Fit, the Caribbean part of that duo. And he was talking about how he was getting invited to a couple of different Super Bowl parties, one of which being Gronkowski's party that he showed up to, and another being a Shaq party. And he talks about what happened at the Shaq party, or what didn't happen at the Shaq party. So I'm going to play you guys that clip right now.
Dude, Shaq's party going to be lit. I said, well, Shaq sent me these DMs. I don't know if we really on that type of time. Like, and Gilly would call me. Like, it's clear that Shaq made a couple calls because Gilly called me like, Ak, what did you do to Shaq? I said, this bitch old ass nigga over here, like acting like he about to kill me. He's like, yo, Gilly, this is what Gilly told me. The only thing he says, Ak, Shaq is like that. He's been really connected to all the gangster niggas and got nigga touch. I'm like, Shaq? I thought Shaq was like Disney Channel. Anyway, so now I'm at Super Bowl. Shaq's party is here. Now I'm telling Fresh, I'm like, Fresh, I ain't gonna lie, I'm letting my nuts hang out here, nigga. Like, bro, I'm pulling up anywhere, nigga, where niggas want me at. He said, I bet we going to Shaq's party. I'm like, Shaq's party? So yeah, Shaq having a party this and third. I almost went to it. I got like 20 minutes before I roll in, Fresh give me a call and be like, Ak, I know I told you like your Shaq probably wasn't gonna be there. Nigga, Shaq was at the door checking everybody in, nigga.
Ooh.
If he remembers you, nigga, it was. I'm like, oh shit. All right. I felt back. I'm like, all right, cool. Let me see what it is.
Yeah.
Now,
we gonna have to go to a different party.
My ex tweaking, you know what I mean? She's seen some other shit, so she started set tripping type shit, whatever. Started doing some op type shit. You know what happens next? Yo, Shaq asked some bum ass nigga for her number. Shaq calls her. Yo, you want to fly out here with the big diesel?
Oh,
Shaq.
what?
Yo, Shaq is flexing. Yo, Shaq is in a dark room. He already black.
Bro, Shaq is really like that. When he hates you, he try to hit your girl, bro. That's crazy.
50. The nigga got gray hair on his chest, flexing his pecs. You wanna fly out here with a big diesel? Yo, I'm like, yo, Shaq is really targeting my world.
So there you have it. He almost ran into Shaq in person, but he was still cognizant of the issues that they had. And then he leaks that.
Bro, what you doing? What you doing? You beefing with Shaquille O'Neal, Big Diesel. Bro sliding your girl's DM talking about, hey, let me fly you out. You know she gonna be flown out first class. I don't think he's sending the private jet, but she getting a first class ticket. She coming back with a Birkin. She knows that she's about to have the time of her life with Shaquille O'Neal. And you know he about to destroy it. Bro, it will never be the same. Huh? After Shaquille O'Neal hit your girl, bro, I mean, this man is over 7 feet tall. The strong West African genes, clearly. Nah, bro.
Shaq was DMing his current girl that was having issues with him at a period of time. And Shaq knew that they were having issues, so he DM'd her. So clearly, Shaq is not only DMing his exes or his girls and finding them somehow, who, I mean, we don't even know who Akademiks girls are. So for Shaq to find it, he's clearly dedicated to the cause. And then on top of that,
you would think this nigga don't got time for shit like that.
Them when the gazelle is wounded, like she needs to get nursed back to health. He's like, oh, there's turmoil in here. Oh, don't worry, Captain Shaq. There's crazy waters right now. There's a torrential rainstorm. Waves are crashing on that little boat. Shaq's coming in the big boat, Captain Shaq, and he's willing to save her. So these are the DMs that Akademiks leaked now after talking about the video clip or the FaceTime.
When I'm showing it says, you doing okay? I'm like, yo, Shaq playing like that? I ain't gonna lie, she did answer. She said, I'm good. What's up? Shaq says, look, this is what Shaq says. I'm good. Just checking on you. I know somebody that could always make you smile. What?
That's that old man game right there. That's that born in the fucking the 60s game right there.
Then he texts again. He's so sexy and nice. Oh my God. I gotta make sure I see this. This is crazy. Shaq, I want no beef with you, bro. I wave the white flag. You got it. This ain't like Meat Mill and them other niggas. Like, I know Wale out here go inch for inch with niggas. I was gonna go dollar for dollar with them niggas. But Shaq, you got it, Crody.
So here he leaks the DMs as well. And it's still not over, even though Akademiks has been trying, and it's clearly was likely trying to get in Shaq's good graces even behind the scenes. But we would get Akademiks still taunting Shaquille O'Neal in the public eye when Shaq was linking up with Angel Reese, who was a popular college basketball player. I think she was from LSU. Don't quote me on that, but hey, maybe give me a pat on the back if I got that right.
I ain't gonna lie, man. Yo, Shaq is working mad hard to be the next Diddy, and I fuck with him.
That's crazy.
Yo, Shaq working mad hard to be the next Diddy, and I get him, bro. Yo, Shaq really think like he 34, bro. Shaq, you are 54. You are approaching 60. What's going on, bro?
$100,000.
You know what's so funny? I know I would bet money that DJ Akademiks ain't gonna be any different once he's in his 50s, bro. 20 years from now, when Akademiks is in his mid 50s, bro's gonna be doing the same thing. He was going to be sliding in the DMs of 20-some-year-old girls. It's so funny, man.
You make the shot. Let's see.
Shaq shot 33% from the field goal, from the free throw for his entire career. Nigga, the Lakers could have won 8 more championships if this nigga would have made half of the free throws he missed. This nigga missed every free throw that could have saved Kobe from doing some gymnastic, like shoot over 8 people type of shit. He was shooting over cheerleaders, nigga. Just because Shaq couldn't make a fucking free throw, they invented a fucking move, hack a Shaq. Just because this nigga was too lazy. First of all, Shaq been shooting with one hand his whole life. When he gets to the free throw line, he get there and he do that one thing with the one hand. This nigga see a chick who's under 30, look cute, might got some shit on her, he wanna Shaq looked like Steph Curry, spun the ball, and he held it out like Jordan.
That's
as
crazy.
hilarious as this clip is,
That's crazy.
you got to look at it from Shaq's perspective. This is 6 months ago. So the Diddy charges are still quite fresh. And everyone's looking at Diddy like, yo, this is the ultimate predator.
6 months ago. Wow, that was very recent.
Granted, innocent until proven guilty, even now. But Shaq is probably looking at this like, yo, this guy is trying to apologize. He's trying to play with me. He's trying to compare me to Diddy. So Shaq is still behind the scenes trying to get it jiggy with Akademiks. And
What does Chain say? Lord, I don't even know. But shoot, that looked like a heavy-ass diamond chain, though.
can you really blame him? I don't know. I think he met his match because Akademiks is usually like out beefing
On a
almost
private
everybody
jet.
that he's gotten into it with, just because, well, a couple of different reasons. But realistically, if you're a public figure or a rapper, it doesn't look that great on you to constantly go back and forth. There isn't much to gain from it on your end. Regardless, we would get a new update from Ak versus Shaq after this whole fiasco with Shannon Sharp happened with the girl suing him. The reason for that is Shaq said, or Matt Barnes
Bro,
put out.
why Shannon Sharp got this fucking gay-ass dog, bro? I don't get it, man. Like, why are you posing with dogs like this? I get it if you own a dog like that, especially if you have a family, you got kids and shit like that. But why are you posing with this kind of dog? This is just sus, bro.
The word that Shaq was saying that there was money for anybody that could bring up something compromising about Shannon Sharp.
Who are you praying to, by the way? Knowing how vile Shannon Sharp is in the sheets, you know what I'm saying? How he be violating these chicks. He praying to God. Well, if you don't,
was in relation to him potentially being a zestmite, but not much information came out. So when he gets sued and everything's crashing and burning for Shannon Sharp, some people thought, okay, whoa, maybe Shaq's behind it. So Akademiks goes into talking about Shaq again in his own personal life.
Girls I've dealt with, I ain't gonna lie, I was talking like some girl not too long ago, like he DM'd her too. Like it was like 4 weeks ago. I was like,
Wow.
how the hell? The chick got 300 followers.
So in a live stream,
yeah.
just
Now,
the
Shaq got a PI following Akademiks, figuring out every girl that he talks to so he can slide in their DMs. Crazy.
other week, Akademiks reports that Shaq was DMing some chick that he was talking to privately that nobody knew about. Now, that is insane. So it's 2 years
Pretty
later.
wild.
Shaq is still holding on to this beef, still DMing girls that Akademiks is talking to. And then he explains a little bit of the gangsta background of Shaq in this clip.
His history, Shaq was involved in a case where somebody got killed. Where because he was with the Lakers, he avoided getting charged because they're not trying to charge a star Laker player with allegedly putting a hit on a nigga.
That's crazy.
But they charged somebody for killing a nigga. And according to the word in the street, it was because that person Shaq wanted eliminated. So even then I'm processing, wait, Shaq is getting his clapped? Like, that's crazy. You get what I'm saying?
So when I heard this, I was like, yo, Shaq is getting big.
I mean, that's not surprising, though. It just doesn't fit the Shaquille O'Neal personality per se. But Shaq has so many connections, so much money. He's been around, bro. He knows people. If Shaquille O'Neal wants a guy gone, I imagine he can make that happen.
Busy like that? What the hell? I'm in awe. I'm shocked. And then Akademiks starts to lightly throw some jabs towards Shaq's way. And I think he realized there wasn't going to be peace. So he decided to use some Cold War tactics and say, hey, listen, man, you don't want me digging into this. And that is this murder case that Shaq was allegedly involved in. So I'm going to run you guys that clip.
So somebody was acting like they had Shaq's sex tapes back in the day. Okay? Or whatever the case. By the way, this also connects to WAC 100, right? There was supposed to be some extortion shit. Shaq murder for hire. Just search that. Bro, just search it. Look, the nigga testified, Shaq told me to kill people. Brother, I'm not making this shit up. So again, like, I remember when Shaq was talking so crazy, I'm like, what the f? So after I had to do a
Bro,
whole-
this is insane. This, I have never heard about this. Shaq is literally... Shaq got mob ties. Bro got gang ties, bro.
deep digging into Shaq's history. Because even when I was talking to Gilly was like, yo, Ak, I'm going to be honest with you. Shaq tapped in with the streets. I'm like, bro, we're talking
That's
about
crazy.
Superman, and who like fucking is the big goofball at the NBA All-Star games, like dribbling like crazy, and we laugh at him and we love him, and they're like, no, he's tapped in, and I'm like, what? But I went into all his history. Shaq think he a street nigga. This is a fact. Shaq think he's a street nigga. And there's multiple cases. He hasn't. Well, actually, he did hit up a chick I was talking to like a few weeks ago, which I'm gonna say, Shaq, I'm gonna keep it cute with you from here on. If you want me to go do a whole deep dive on your history, nigga, you don't want to end up like Shannon Sharpe. I'm gonna just say that right now, because as much money as you think you got, I got a lot of motherfucking time.
I had no idea about this.
Wow.
I think maybe some really, really deep NBA fans that look into a lot of this stuff perhaps knew about this, but this is shocking. And for Shaq to be moving like this behind the scenes, it's a little bit perplexing, to say the least, because why is Shaq bothered by random comments? The thing is, Shaq is so big and his brand is so strong that if Akademiks talks about something, and the majority of people are not really too fond of Akademiks and are like, man, he's just hating on Shaq. So it's not going to harm Shaq as if perhaps a mainstream publication talked about him. And to correct what I said earlier, it wasn't about some GOAT conversation that Shannon Sharpe was getting attacked by Shaq. I think he was just saying that, like, Jokic, it was just some conversation about current basketball and big men and Shaq potentially being jealous about their play and that Shaq couldn't play like them, which is an insane thing to go into a tirade on an Instagram comment section about, and then beef with them in the background too, because when we see it on social media, we're thinking, okay, this is some friendly competition when it comes to sportscasters. Nah, Shaq is really taking it that far. And for Shannon Sharpe, he thought it was the same as we thought. And that's
Shaq's ego is insane, bro.
Understandable from Shannon Sharpe's perspective. So Shaq is, man, Akademiks is in Shaq's crosshairs, and let's hope. Let's hope for Akademiks' sake Shaq doesn't take things too far, because Shaq is probing. And if Shaq had anything to do with this Shannon Sharpe situation, which I don't think he did, I really don't think he did. I don't think Shaq would be the type to do something like this. I think he would just want to get some revenge on the guy and let him know that he got revenge on him, as opposed to actually destroying his entire career. But if Shaq is capable of that,
bro,
man,
if Shaq's out here trying to hit your girl, I don't put it past him, to be real with you. I don't know. We don't know if Shaq had anything to do with Shannon Sharpe getting packed up, but it seems like the kind of thing that he would love to do.
Really on some demon timing that I don't even want to believe is possible for him. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Does Akademiks deserve the treatment 2 years later?
Man, I mean, we always get what we deserve. So, yeah, Ak does deserve it in a sense. Nobody told him to go bother Big Diesel, but it is pretty surprising to learn that Shaquille O'Neal, he moves like this, that he's not someone you mess around with, because bro gonna try and hit your girl, and if he can find dirt on you, he might get you packed up. And according to that news report from however long ago, he might get you packed up for real. I definitely don't want no smoke with Shaquille O'Neal. You know, he just came out with this new restaurant line called Big Chicken. I went to it for the first time yesterday. That shit was some of the best fucking fried chicken I had in a long time, bro. Shaquille O'Neal, he's a winner. Don't fuck with winners, bro. Don't fuck with winners.